So this week, we're talking about conflict management and negotiation. And I want to talk more on the negotiation end of this. I'm right now the lead negotiator for the union that I'm in, and we're engaged in negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement. So I'm in depth right now in terms of negotiation, and I think it's it's one of the things that I enjoy, strangely enough, about being active in a union. A part of it is just having some control over your fate. And right now it's much more enjoyable because we're in the beginning phases, and we're doing what we call interest-based bargaining. This is this more integrative negotiation style where we try and problem solve and find solutions to problems that are win-win solutions for the employees and the employer. And so that it's nice. It's you feel like you are really contributing to the betterment of the organization when you're doing that. And it's just less stressful. Now, I know that eventually we'll be switching back over to a more traditional style of bargaining. And that happens when you start talking about the financial issues. And inevitably that happens because there are just conflicting interests between employees and the employer in terms of those issues of pay and benefits and so on and so forth. And so I'm preparing my team for that, and you really have to kind of bolster yourself because that can be a roller coaster ride. Although it's a very different style of negotiation. In the interest-based bargaining, we're in a room, there's lots of talking. When you get down to the traditional style of negotiating, it's really just kind of like handing a piece of paper and passing it across the table and having the other side react, and then you go back to your corner and talk to your group and how are we going to react and all these things. And there's much less collaboration, much more stressful, but I know what I'm in for. Some of the things I would say is that I've learned by being involved in negotiation is that, again, you really need to not get too emotionally involved. And in fact, many times what you have to acknowledge is that the people involved with negotiation aren't always the ultimate decision makers. For me, I'm negotiating for the union, but I have to go back and take that contract to my membership, and they have to ratify it. And so I don't get to decide. And I know the people on the other side, that they're not the ultimate decision makers on whether what they're negotiating is going to be approved or not. They have to go back to their bosses and to the board of trustees. And so it really helps, I think, just to keep that in perspective and to understand that to be civil, to be calm, to be very evidence-based. That's another thing I would say is really, it pays much more to focus on evidence and facts and analysis, because if there is at some point some kind of impasse, it's better to have that case made on facts and a sound analysis than on emotion, because emotion is not going to convince either the larger population or an arbitrator or anybody else. Negotiation, to me, as much as possible, should be friendly, should be fact-based. Believe me, there are times when it gets heated, but we should keep that to a minimum. So I'll let you go. Take care. Good night now.